Hey guys, it's Doom49 and I'm going to be reviewing the Elgato Game Capture compared to the HD PVR. There's a lot of videos out there that compare one individually and don't really speak about the other. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing both together so you can see the screen and how well it captures on the quality. I'm going to be doing it on both the Xbox and on the PS3. Starting it off here, I'm going to be looking at the Elgato on the Xbox 360. The quality looks pretty good and the lighting seems well. You can tell a difference between the dark areas and the light areas, and the coloring seems to be pretty well blended, and the sharp areas look pretty good too. Now looking at the HD PVR, the colors seem a bit more washed out as opposed to the Elgato. Now, as for the texture quality, it seems to be relatively the same. Some would beg to differ, but it's not much of a difference, although the main difference we can see is that the colors seem to be washed out a little bit. Now, I'd like to do a quick freeze frame of both the Elgato and the HD PVR. Pay attention to the top right so you know which screen you're looking at. And most of all, don't assume there's a different field of view. It's just from the position I'm standing and the weapon that I'm using. With the freeze frame, you can clearly see the difference, but I'd like to move on to the audio so you guys can see the difference, or at least hear the difference between the HD PVR and the Elgato. Again, pay attention to the top right to know which one you're listening to. So, from what we've heard, the Elgato seems to have a better, more clear, and crisper sound quality compared to the HD PVR. But we're going to move on to the PS3 and see how well it delivers on there. Starting it off, we're looking at the HD PVR. Now, from what I see, it seems to be very bright. The texture quality is pretty high, and again, there's no real difference between the texture quality. But for the most part, it's the darkness and contrast that seem to be a little bit different between the two. I mean, look at the Elgato here. You can clearly make a good difference between the light and the dark areas. And for the most part, you can tell the difference between people on a distance and people that are close. Now, there's one thing that seemed to bug me with the HD PVR, and it could have been my wiring system, but if I freeze here, you can see that there's a little bit of a ghosting effect going on in the background. Now, in comparison to the Elgato, there is no ghosting effect whatsoever. And for the most part, I found that the Elgato seemed to be easy to use, being that it only uses an HDMI cable. As opposed to the HD PVR, there's multiple wires that need to be connected and unhooked when I need to switch between the PS3 and the Xbox. Now, to prove to you guys there is no difference between the consoles in the sense of the audio, and it is truly the game captures, I'm going to let you guys hear the audio for the PS3, comparing it, starting it off with the Elgato, and then I'll move on to the HD PVR. So, it seems that the Elgato has a better sound quality overall, and looking at the software to use for it, there's a lot of options to use. You can edit your video and directly upload it to YouTube by editing the tags, description, and a lot of other features as well, including live streaming directly from the Elgato itself. Now, one of the most interesting features is you can edit your video in the sense that you can cut it up in any way you like and have multiple options for ways you'd like to upload it or ways you'd like to export it. Now, looking at the HD PVR, there's not many options available to you except simply recording your program. And you can record from the PlayStation 3 and AVC HD or from the Xbox 360. You're also given a few options in the top left for tweaking your video, but only prior to recording. Anyway guys, that sums it up. Leave in the comments below what you guys think of this review, and I'll see you guys in the next commentary.